Hey guys, welcome back to another episode where I yet again interview Andre. Man, it feels like I'm really exploiting you, right?
It is rare. How look how the roles have reversed. Now,
Damn. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce. Welcome back to the Couch
yeah,
Critic. My
and
oh,
Andre.
and Andre, my perhaps short-lived career in
Shocking.
blogging, YouTubing, and podcasting. But that's how
My
life
guy,
is,
you are
bro.
just waffling. Let's get to the topic.
Okay. Enough padding out the runtime. Let
yeah.
let's get to the topic. So we are going to discuss Indian films and how you think that they don't really hold up today. And it's a
Hmm.
opinion that I haven't formed fully yet. So I'm just going to go with your arguments and maybe give my opinions too on them. So
Okay.
So, okay, state your case. Why do you think that Indian movies aren't as good
Okay.
as they used to be?
I'd just like to make a small correction there. I know I said Indian movies before, but I really do mean Bollywood movies, not Indian movies, because I know that the South movies now are being made well, and they are doing the things that Bollywood should be doing but aren't doing. So when I say Bollywood isn't that good, it just simply isn't that good. Like 12th Fail is the only good movie that has come out, like the only 10 out of 10 Bollywood movie that has come out in a while, in my opinion. And we also don't have a lot of good action movies. I thought Jawan and Patan are both crazy overrated movies.
What about
I
Animal?
don't think eh, it had a lot of potential, but it really isn't that good of a movie in my opinion. Another thing that Bollywood has fallen off in is rom-coms. I don't think we've also had a very good rom-com in a while. Like like none on the level as Ye Jawani Hai Diwani and stuff like that. So yes, in those regards, Bollywood has fallen off big time.
Okay, so
Your thoughts?
my thoughts are you went to generalize Bollywood, but then I'm not to diss the South or anything, but in what South movies I have seen, they are just kind of Bollywood. Most of them are Bollywood masala films that are just cranked up to 10, and I don't think they have many 10 on 10s either, you know. So
Okay.
even like the popular South movies like Bahubali, KGF, all of those, they are just
Hmm.
Bol- Bollywood movies, masala movies that would just cranked up to 11. Like even Animal, which is directed by a South director, is
Hmm.
like one of my favorite masala Bollywood movies in the recent times because it was directed by a South director. So in that regard, I, if I were you, I would include the entirety of Indian cinema under that. Except actually, maybe there are some indie films from both South and Hindi that we are not paying that much attention to because
See,
they do
when
go
I
under
say
the
the South
radar.
is doing okay,
Okay,
cool. When I say the South is doing well, I am talking more about those indie films. I haven't seen a lot of them, but like for example, there's this movie called Kathal the Core. Maybe mispronouncing it, but it's a very simple slice of life movie. Almost it's like nothing significant happens. There is nothing masala about it. It is just purely story and observing a character in that environment. See, that is something you don't see in Bollywood. That is something you don't see in a theater. But in, I think it's a Malayalam film. So in the state that that movie plays in, people go see that, and that type of a movie is successful there. Don't think we have that in Bollywood, in my opinion. Just a simple movie that focuses on a good story. Like 12th Fail, I would call it an anomaly almost. But even that, it has a lot of star power attached to it, which is a reason why I think it did better than most simple movies, in my opinion.
I feel that a lot of simple slice of life movies just don't do well in general, whether it be a Hollywood, Bollywood, or anything. Like which slice of life movies really do that well in general? I don't think it's something that is generalized
No,
to.
no, I'm okay. I don't think I'm expressing myself well enough, but see, I don't mean that we should be making more slice of life movies. I think we should be making more movies with good stories. And a movie doesn't have to be slice of life or simple to, have a good story. Like I mentioned, Ye Jawani Hai Diwani before. That is, it conforms to all of the norms that Bollywood has set for romantic movies, but it's still a great movie in my opinion and still has a great story, despite it having those masala tinges to it. I'm just saying, story wise, we have focused more on, I don't know, just the stars involved in the movie more than the movie itself. Again, to bring up Jawan and Patan. I don't think those are well written movies by any means, but they make a lot of money, unfortunately. Even a movie like Dream Girl 2, like that is probably my least favorite movie of last year. I think it's kind of terrible. But people went to see it and that was a popular movie. Like those are the movies that are coming out from Bollywood and playing in theaters. I think that's a problem. Your
So
thoughts?
my thoughts are that, you know, I feel Bollywood and Indian cinema in general, I think it operates on word of mouth and more than anything else. When it comes to movies with good
Mm,
story, if like so in mass communication in first year we learned a concept of communication leaders. Okay, so basically
mm,
there are something called as opinion leaders in society, where like
mm,
one person will be an opinion leader, and probably their friends or family or co-workers around them will listen to their opinion and conform to their opinion. And I think that is something that is very prevalent in India. I'm sure most people who go to the cinema as in groups, probably, one person initiates the idea, let's go to the cinema, let's watch this movie, I heard it's good.
mm,
So I think in India that has a lot to do with it. And as far as star power is concerned, I don't think star power always works, because look at Shah Rukh Khan. He's done well the last 2 years. That's because his masala films have been, as masala films, I think they are good. As no, like, if you judge them as a normal film, I don't know how great they are. But as masala films, I felt they were good. Whereas his previous endeavors before that weren't that great. I have not seen Zero, but I've seen some of his other films that came out before that, and they weren't that great. When Harry
mm.
Met Sejal, is that,
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah, that
agree with you on that. I really don't like him. In fact, I said that's the movie that he fell off with. Like that movie onwards, it was a downward spiral for him
yeah.
up until now, I guess.
And even
Yeah, okay,
star
but
power, like take Salman
hmm,
Khan for example. I don't think people talk a lot about star power, but then star power doesn't always work. Salman Khan has fell off majorly. His films aren't doing well at all. Even, yeah, like I think he's the last film that did really well was the second Tiger film, Tiger Zinda Hai. I think that was
hmm.
the last film of his that did really well. Even the third
When
Tiger
did that
film
come out?
that came out in 2019, I think, or 18.
His last film didn't do well.
It His last film was the third Tiger film, I think. It
Yeah.
did okay, but it I don't think it lived up to the expectations that, you know audiences and the filmmakers expected it. I don't think the studio was satisfied with how well it did. It didn't do that well also.
Yeah, I mean, its budget was 300 crores and box office was 440 to 466,
Yeah,
which is high, but I don't think that's like a lot, I guess.
yeah,
It's the
especially
sixth highest grossing Hindi film of 2023. That's quite a bit.
Yeah, especially
It
considering
wasn't bad,
it's
actually.
like, the continuation of that entire spy universe with
Mm-hmm.
Pathan and everything, and considering Pathan did so well and Tiger 3 didn't, that was even more of a shock. So I don't know. Indian audiences are a bit unpredictable. I think they just respond to a certain type of film, you know,
I
and
mean, I feel like Bollywood, especially with respect to putting movies out in theaters, is taking a lot less risks now. Like, I don't think a movie like Delhi Belly. would get made today. I just don't think it would go to theaters. I think it would go straight to streaming, and I think that's unfortunate. I think they're playing it safe, and by playing it safe, it's running them losses
I think
pretty
the
much.
reason for that is because when the stars did go to take risks, the risks didn't do well. But that's not to do with the Indian audience's mentality. I think that's more to do with the fact that the movies weren't too great. Like Salman Khan's Tube Light. I don't know if you've seen it, and
I haven't.
this Shah Rukh Khan's Zero. These are all experiments that didn't go well. If you go and look at Salman Khan's movies, have you seen Bajrangi Bhaijaan?
Yeah,
So
I
at
heard
the
really
time,
well.
that was a very different film because if you go to see, he isn't that exaggerated of a character in that. Like he doesn't have
Hmm.
superhuman abilities or anything like he does in his other masala
Hmm.
films. So that one paid off, but then it can't always pay off. It has to be backed up by a good script, and I feel like Bollywood just took too many risks with bad scripts, and that has kind of soured their taste towards taking risks in general. What do you think?
Hmm. Uh, I don't know if they've taken too many bad risks. I can agree that Zero was a risk on Shah Rukh Khan's behalf, but I mean, look, he's Shah Rukh Khan. Like a risk doesn't really affect him that much, even if it goes wrong. Like his, how he is perceived by the Indian audience won't change with one movie or even like 5 or 10 at this point. So he's in a position to take risks. So why doesn't he? Why doesn't his production house even like encourage more risky movies, considering he's in a position to do that? And same with Salman Khan. Even if Salman Khan makes 1,000 bad movies, which I'm sure he has exceeded that number at this point, like he's not. It's not going to change how he is perceived by the Indian audience, right? So, what is really stopping them from going out and making riskier movies?
I mean,
Like, are you really telling me a movie like Radhe and stuff is not risky, given how it's just a copycat movie?
I mean, Salman Khan's movies tend to do well, especially the action type. And Radhe also, I feel, was banking off Wanted's clout because they are both called
Hmm.
Radhe in those movies, and they also reference Wanted, I think, a little bit. But you have to also think Radhe didn't do well, and Radhe came out during the time of quarantine, and it is a very bad movie. I will agree, but
Hmm.
you don't think that it could have done well had it had a better release date?
Not really. I
I
mean,
don't
but
see a movie
no,
like
like,
Radhe
that's
as
really
a
not
risk.
my. Sorry, not my point. My point is, why is Bollywood comfortable making recycling mediocre movies and not taking risks with scripts that could be potentially good, that would probably even cost half the budget to make, considering they're in a position to do that? Do you not feel like that's happening? Don't you feel like all of the movies are just
When it
copycat
comes
paste of
to
what you've already
movies with
seen?
star power, you have to consider that a lot of the budget goes in procuring that star power. So the budget isn't really extremely low if you have a star attached to it. And if you don't have a star attached to it, there's the problem of audiences even going to see it.
Oh, but then you could have it released by the production house, right?
I
Like
mean,
even the
isn't that what
phrase.
Shah Rukh Khan did? He took a risk with movies like Fan and Zero, and they didn't pay off. And then his other ventures like When Harry Met Sejal, and even I don't think
See, but
Rai.
that's not really his movie.
That's why I separated it from Fan and Zero. But
Okay.
so Fan and Zero didn't do well. You think they would go for a third time? I mean, at the end of the day, they are businesses, right? And businesses need to profit. So I don't see them taking that many risks.
Hmm. I guess that makes sense. I'm just saying they could, but
Yeah,
if you
I
look at it
wish
from
they
the
would
business
too. I wish
perspective,
they would.
I guess, yeah, I guess that's valid then.
Yeah, I
I
do
mean,
feel,
wait, Fan made a good amount of money.
but it
He
wasn't
had a
the
budget
success
of
that they hoped for. I
it. It
remember,
made double its budget.
I
It's pretty good.
but I remember reading articles about fan flopping and everything. I maybe it's not taking into account the entire budget. I don't know. There must have been
Mm,
marketing and whatnot.
it does say the film flopped in India, but outside it did quite well at the box office. See, I don't,
Maybe,
I
probably.
maybe it's just maybe the budget here doesn't include its marketing budget because their budget was 85 crores, but their box office was 188.4. Like that's a pretty good profit. It's
Hmm.
literally double. So
I mean,
maybe it
I
had an
agree with
inflated
you.
marketing
Bollywood
budget.
has kind of fallen off in compared to its previous years, and I guess
Hmm.
risk taking isn't being made. I'm sure that let's go back to the early 2000s. I think a movie like Munna Bhai was a bit of a risk for Sanjay Dutt, and it paid off well.
Hmm. Hmm.
And just the entire period of the 2000s just had pretty great films. Like even the masala films,
Yeah.
like Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, Kal Ho Na Ho, all of
Hmm.
all of the
Hmm.
you know
Yeah.
Om Shanti even though Om Shanti Home is a pretty major masala film, even that was better
Hmm.
than some of the masala films being put out today.
I would even argue in the 2010s, it was the movies were still good.
I'd say early
Like even a movie
2010s,
like
because then
yeah,
they kind of started. Even actually, I don't know about the 2010s, because 2010s did have movies like Chennai Express, Dilwale, Happy New Year.
yeah. I mean, I like Happy New Year. I don't dislike that movie.
Damn.
Do you dislike that movie?
I mean, I haven't
Like
seen.
I mean, to be fair, I saw it in theaters. Maybe that's why I have a soft spot for it. But I don't
I did
dislike
too,
it.
bro.
Oh damn! Wait, do you like Bang Bang? Because I saw that in theaters, and I
I
also kind of like that
I
one. I
feel
guess
like
it's decent.
I feel like I'll need to have rewatched it. I even saw it in theaters. I remember liking it, but I don't know. I'll have to rewatch it too.
I feel like if I rewatched it, I wouldn't like it actually.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably. So yeah, I feel 2000s was really the golden era, I guess, for Bollywood.
probably.
Three Idiots, the Munna Bhai
Hmm.
franchise, and I
Right.
guess there are risks being taken. Like even Three Idiots isn't like a typical masala kind of film. It's in fact not a masala film at all,
Yeah, it's not
and it was pretty. It was like one of the best Bollywood movies ever,
true.
and it was the highest grossing film at that point of India, I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah, it was one
So
of the few in the 300 crore club or whatever.
yeah, so maybe you're right. Maybe they do need to take risks, but they need to calculate on those risks. Maybe like if the movie itself is
Hmm.
shit, maybe don't make the movie. Like I feel
I
like
also think they
Bollywood
should
has a lot of
just
big egos.
okay. I think they should just hire better people to make their masala films. They should stop making the masala films just copycat pastes of previous work. Like let's take Suryavanshi for no, let's just look at Akshay Kumar's career of late as a whole. It's not very good. He doesn't make very good movies anymore, in my opinion. Like he fell off pretty hard.
Yep, I'd say so too. In the late 2010s, people were giving him praises because he was making
Yeah,
many movies based on social problems and whatnot.
I feel like he just panders to an audience, and that got him, clout, I guess. And now he's just trying to do the same thing, and it is just not working.
And he also
I feel like he's
took on too many
yeah,
projects. I think he in one year he had four or
yeah,
five projects, which is
yeah. He has like 5 projects a year. That's true.
so
So
he.
that is a
I think
problem.
he's just reached the point where he wants to make as much money as
He's,
possible.
I guess, yeah. I mean, like, imagine what would could have happened if all of that money that they used to make bad Salman Khan and bad Akshay Kumar movies, were given to like independent studios or something. Imagine how much better the movies could have been, my guy.
True, true. They probably could have been much better. I guess, that's something that Bollywood needs to consider. They need to stop pandering to their egos, because there are a lot of big egos in Bollywood. And I don't think in Hollywood, a lot of those egos kind of, have gotten
I
reality
think
checks.
Yeah, I think Hollywood is kind of healing now. It's in its healing phase. I don't think they're out of the woods completely, but it's kind of healing. Kind of.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
feel like
also
yeah,
on the topic of masala films, uh, I really liked Rocky or Rani Ki Prem Kahani. Like I thought that was a really good movie.
I haven't seen it yet, but I am looking forward to seeing it because I like Karan Johar's movies
Yeah,
during
right. I
the
mean,
2000s.
Karan
I
Johar gets too much flack,
yeah, I guess so.
except for like Student of the Year and
Is
his.
Student of the Year bad?
Yeah,
I
I didn't
haven't
like
seen it.
Student of the Year.
Anyway,
It's like a dumb masala flick, I guess.
hmm,
If you're into that type of thing. His other movies though, I really like.
yeah, same
Yeah.
here. So yeah, I guess I agree with you that Bollywood is definitely not what it used to be, and I feel like they should be taking more risks, and the Bollywood egos need to, take a bit of a reality check, come down to reality, realize that what they are making isn't that great, and it's hurting not only their profits but audiences wish to go to the movie theaters. So
Hmm.
yeah, I guess we can conclude the topic. Thanks for listening, guys. Andre, you want to do the intro, the outro again?
The intro, he said.
The
Okay.
outro.
So thank you guys again so much for tuning in, listening to us to what we have to say. We don't have a lot of good things to say. Clearly, I mean, maybe our next episode will be a little more positive. We don't know. Leave suggestions in the comments because I kind of want. Never mind. I fumbled the outro. Just cut,
Yeah, we
Zach.
might
Cut.
we might do more of these even after my web designing practical days are
Yeah, I
over.
mean, this is so much fun. Like,
Yeah, it is. It is definitely fun.
yeah, I don't know. I didn't expect to enjoy it this much. Yeah.
Neither did I. Anyway, I'm
You
sure
were
my
having a
dad would be
moment.
happy also.
God. You're not going to leave that in the episode, right?
I would have left it in if this Ralph had not spoken. Okay, that's the end of the episode. Bye.